Taxes, huh? Not always the most exciting thing in the world, is it? I mean, unless you're a tax professional, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But seriously, for a lot of small business owners, dealing with taxes feels like trying to navigate a maze in the dark, blindfolded. Especially this whole Schedule C
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Schedule C. I've seen that deer in the headlights look before.
Right. But honestly, once you understand how it works, it can be super empowering for business owners. So that's what we're going to do today. We're diving into some really amazing training materials from Level Up Quest. They just have a knack for making taxes, well, almost fun.
Almost. But
Who knew?
seriously, they do explain things really well.
Okay, so we're tackling Schedule C. First things first, who's got to worry about this?
So Schedule C, that's the stomping ground for sole proprietors and single-member LLCs. Basically, if you're running the show solo, this is where you report all your business income and expenses to the IRS.
Got it. And I know from experience that one of the biggest things that trips people up is understanding profit versus draw. Like, they think just because they didn't make a ton of money that they don't owe any taxes, but that's not always the case.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a common misconception for sure.
Yeah.
I've had so many conversations with clients who were laser focused on their bank account balance, but they weren't really seeing the full financial picture when it came to taxes.
Level Up Quest uses this really good analogy. They say to think of it like this. Imagine a coffee shop owner. She loves what she does, pours her heart and soul into her business.
Okay, I can see where this is going. I'm picturing a cute little cafe with like amazing latte art and everything.
Exactly. So she's making great coffee, customers love her, but she's also pouring a ton of money back into the business. New espresso machine, comfy chairs, all the things.
Right, because those things are essential, and those are actually tax deductible too, which is a win.
So even though her bank account might not be bursting at the seams, she could still have a really healthy profit, right?
Exactly, and that's what often throws people off. They see money coming in, money going out, and think, oh, I'm not making that much. But what the IRS really cares about is your profit, which is what's left over after you subtract all your expenses from your income. It's not necessarily about how much you personally take home.
So basically, it's like the business has its own salary, and that's what gets taxed.
That's a great way to put it. It's like the business's earnings. And that profit is what determines how much you owe in taxes, regardless of how much you choose to personally withdraw from the business, which is your draw.
Okay, so profit equals business earnings, which determines taxes, and draw is how much the owner actually takes home.
Got it. You got it.
This is already making so much more sense than when I first started trying to understand it all. So say our coffee shop owner, she brings in $200,000. That's awesome.
Oh, that's a lot of lattes.
Right. But then she's got to pay for beans, rent, salaries, all that jazz. And let's say those expenses add up to, $120,000.
Okay, so her profit would be $80,000.
Exactly. $80,000 profit. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let's say she only takes out $40,000 for herself. Does that mean she's only taxed on the $40,000?
Nope. The magic number for the IRS is still that $80,000 profit. It doesn't matter if she takes out a little or a lot for herself. That profit is what Uncle Sam's got his eye on.
Okay, that makes sense. And I guess that's where things can get tricky if you don't understand this whole profit versus draw thing.
Exactly. You got to be able to see the difference between what the business makes and what you, the owner, take home. Otherwise, you might end up with a big surprise come tax season.
So how can tax pros use this knowledge to help their clients, besides not having a heart attack when they see their tax bill?
Oh, it's way more than just avoiding a tax time freakout. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's important. But this knowledge can actually help business owners make smarter decisions all year round.
I like the sound of that. Tell me more.
Okay, so think about it. If a business owner understands their profit versus draw, they can plan better, right? Like maybe they want to invest in new equipment, give their employees raises, or even take a well-deserved vacation. By knowing those numbers, they can make informed decisions throughout the year, knowing how those choices might affect their tax liability down the road. They can strategize. It's powerful stuff.
That's what I love about being a tax professional. It's not just about numbers. It's about helping people succeed, and understanding the stuff is a huge part of that.
I completely agree. And that's where tax professionals like you become invaluable. By explaining these concepts clearly, you're giving your clients the tools to not only survive tax season, but to really thrive in their businesses.
It's like you're giving them X-ray vision for their business finances.
Exactly. They can see everything so much clearer.
Okay, so we covered a lot of ground here. Let's do a quick recap for our listeners. Schedule C, It's the tax form that sole proprietors and single-member LLCs use to report their business income and expenses.
And we learned all about profit versus draw. Profit is the business's earnings after expenses, and that's what the IRS uses to calculate taxes. Draw is how much the owner personally takes out of the business. They're two different things, and it's super important to understand the difference.
For sure. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about filling out forms correctly. It's about empowering small business owners to make smart decisions and build successful businesses, right?
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So for our listeners out there, I'm curious, how would understanding this profit versus draw thing change the way you advise your clients? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. Until next time.
See you next time.